Well, for nearly 2 centuries, America honored its Christian heritage. But in recent decades, some have tried to destroy that heritage and turn the United States into a completely secular nation.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
The battle for the soul and future of America rages on between those trying to preserve America's Judeo-Christian foundation and those who hate it and have dedicated themselves to destroying it. In his new book, Catholic League President William Donohue calls it secular sabotage against America's cultural and religious traditions. He accuses disaffected liberals of systematically tearing down the traditional values and institutions that have been a part of American fabric since its founding. Donohue says that over 4 decades, the radical secularists have already done a great deal of damage to America that will take decades to fix. And he warns that if they aren't stopped, the secularists will succeed.
Well, he's nothing if he isn't a fighter, and it's a pleasure to have Dr. William Donohue with us from the Catholic League, and he's written this very, very interesting book called Secular Sabotage. Bill, it's nice to have you here. Tell us what got you going on this book.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for all the good work that you've done over the years in fighting to keep our Judeo-Christian heritage. What got me going is 16 years of doing this job here, looking at the whole culture and how it attacks Christianity. I decided to put it together. And what I've done, I've got over 600 different endnote citations. This is not an essay. I have the evidence there. And here's the problem. In the past, we had the Marxists, the radical leftists. They wanted to tear down capitalism and put in socialism and eventually communism. That idea was inherently flawed, but at least they had a blueprint. Today, we're stuck with people who are cultural nihilists. They want to annihilate our society. They are intellectually and spiritually and morally bankrupt. They're totally spent. They have nothing to put in its place. They're like bratty kids who want to tear down society. And if you want to tear down any society, you go to the culture, not to the economy, not to the government. And the heart of any culture is religion. In this country, it's called Christianity.
You're head of the Catholic League. What have they done in the Catholic Church? You've got some rather striking or startling examples in this book of yours.
Well, I mean, what we have already, we see it in Massachusetts. In your wonderful lead-in piece, we're talking about what's going on with the gay agenda. They're trying to say that in Massachusetts and California that the Catholic Church has to be required in order to get any kind of federal money when it comes to adopting children, to allow gays to adopt children. We're not going to allow gay people to adopt children. That's against nature. It's against nature's God. But they won't stop. They're constantly using the ACLU, Americans United for Separation of Church and State, whether it's in God We Trust or under God, they want them excised. You've got elements within the Democratic Party doing the same kind of thing. There's no question about it that the tax-exempt status of all churches in this country, that's mostly Christian, is jeopardized. And I'm not speaking crazy here. Let me be very specific. Dawn Johnson is going to be appointed. Obama wants her. He's nominated her. He wants her to be one of his great lieutenants in running the Office of Legal Counsel. She was involved in a suit in the past. It failed, but she tried to take away the tax-exempt status of the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church is pro-life and anti-abortion. That's the road we're going under.
What about all these scandals in the Catholic Church? You, again, have documented some. Was that part of this secular agenda to undermine the moral fabric of the church?
Well, there's no question. Within the Catholic Church, you have a left element. And within the Protestant mainline church, it's unfortunate that we have these people, I regard them as termites, sitting within trying to eat away the fabric of the Catholic Church. So they lie about it in the Catholic Church. They say, oh, we had a pedophilia problem. It's been a homosexual problem all along. It's not my opinion. It's the actual data from the John Jay Criminal Justice System, a college here in New York City, which looked at the data. I'm not saying homosexuality causes predatory behavior. I'm saying that most of the priests who have been predators have been homosexual, and they hit on post-pubescent boys, not minors. So, yeah, we've got our hands full in the Catholic Church.
Well, you also had a rather scathing analysis of Bishop Spong of the Episcopal Church and what has happened to that denomination. You want to go into that?
The Episcopal people are wonderful Americans, like all Americans are. To see that you've had people like Spong and others and Pike They don't even believe in the divinity of Jesus. They have given up on everything. And instead of just simply saying, look, it didn't work out, I'm going to shift over and become an agnostic, they stay where they are. They park themselves there just like pro-abortion nuns do in the Catholic Church because they want to rip away at the fabric. These people are no more Christian than the man on the moon.
What is underlying this? What's going on in these people? I mean, why didn't they just leave the church alone? They're trying to destroy the church, but what's motivating them?
I am so happy that you asked that question because that's at the heart of the whole book. These people want sexual libertinism. They think the three most horrible words in the English language are thou shalt not. They don't want to be told anything. And Christianity, beginning with our forefathers, with Jews in the Decalogue, we learned about thou shalt not. There are certain things that we can't do. In the left-wingers today, the radical secularists, they know that if they want full-blown genital liberation, that's what I call it, they want sky's the limit, liberty is license. The biggest stumbling block to their perverted idea of freedom is Christianity. If you can go after the Catholics, you go after the Protestants, and you can weaken them, that's a roadblock out of their way, then they can get their way. The whole idea is crazy. This idea of liberty as license leads to death, spiritual, physiological, and sociological death. They just don't get it, and we have to fight back.
Well, Bill, thank you for sounding the alarm. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a fascinating book. It really is. You don't want to put it down. Secular Sabotage. It's available where books are sold, and I appreciate Bill Donohue. He is an outspoken advocate of the moral values we all stand for. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Pat.